Hallo, willkommen zu Lone Star. Wir spielen Agatha Christie, Hercule Poirot, der London Case. Ja, die Anschuldigungen des Bischof Mountjoy haben sich herausgestellt, dass das alles Quatsch war. Können wir dann nochmal mit Evelyn reden. Sie steht da auch ein bisschen steif da.
Go right ahead, Detective.
The meetings you arranged without the trustee's knowledge.
I wonder who you've been talking to. What did he tell you? That I've been up to no good?
Allerdings.
Not in so many words.
I was meeting with artists for a new exhibition. He has no idea what he is talking about when it comes to art. Or really anything for that fact. He can't see the future. The new wave that will change the art world forever.
As well as the uncouth gentleman you met.
Coos. Oh.
He also mentioned the financial books.
Uncouth? Anyone not wearing full priest robes is uncouth to him. I wouldn't show Horace the finances because it has nothing to do with him. And he's simply looking for any excuse to have me fired. Nothing more.
Da stimme ich hier zu. Tell me about Bishop Mountjoy's relationship with Mademoiselle Courtsmice.
Well, considering he didn't want her work anywhere near the museum, I wouldn't have said they had one at all. Then the next thing I heard was that he had commissioned her to do some pieces for his church. I didn't know anything about it until Irene told me.
Do you know what he had commissioned her to paint?
No idea, I'm afraid. She was sworn to secrecy.
You have been most helpful.
Müssen wir wieder zum Mountjoy. Hastings? Nee, da weiß wieder nichts. Ob der immer noch im Café sitzt? Statt mal was Gescheites zu arbeiten hier. Horace altes Haus.
Go on, then.
Does your conflict with Mademoiselle Warbeck not affect the museum?
You make it sound as though it is I that has a problem with her.
Ja, allerdings, wer sonst?
Forgive me, have I misinterpreted?
If you cannot even understand what I have to say, how will you ever understand what Jesus and his Father in heaven require of you?
That is perhaps a matter best discussed at a later time. What I wish to know now is about you and Mademoiselle Warbeck.
Da ist ja ganz schön was los auf dieser Linie. Da kommt ja wirklich jede Minute einer.
There is no need to lose one's temper, Detective. The Lord tells us,
Your Grace, please.
a lesson for another time. Let's just say that I certainly wouldn't have given that common thief an exhibition, especially now.
Da steht aber Exhibit, not Exhibition. I understand you have had paintings commissioned.
You'll have to be more specific than that.
Ja, genau. Er gibt so vermutlich öfters Bilder irgendwie in Arbeit. Da kann man nicht erwarten, dass er jetzt weiß, was ich meine.
The paintings produced by Mademoiselle Courtsmithe's brush.
Oh, yes. Well, I thought it was necessary if she was to feature in the museum.
You couldn't just use her other pieces as reference?
I suppose I could have, but I don't actually see why it is any concern of yours. It is not as though I kept it anyway. I wasn't happy with it clogging up my bin, let alone my museum.
Merci, Your Grace.
What first appeared to be black market dealings by Mademoiselle Courtsmice alone now appears to be far more lucrative and expanded operation. Das haben wir doch schon mal gesagt, aber es war doch bisher gar nichts. Bishop Mountjoy's vocal distrust of Mademoiselle Warbeck may have been nothing more than a distraction from his other immoral activities. Perhaps we should focus our attention towards him. Bishop Mountjoy's Church, where Bishop Mountjoy holds his service. Dann haben wir Horace commissioned paintings by Irene. He claimed that he was not a fan of her work, and yet he specifically asked her to paint something for him. Horace mentioned seeing stolen painting. Mademoiselle Barbanan, or Barbania, said that Bishop Mountjoy mentioned he had seen a painting. Only she knew that it wasn't possible, as the painting had been stolen. Horace may be involved in black market dealings. There is some evidence to suggest Bishop Mountjoy is involved in illegal black market dealings, but we must find proof. Irene forged Magdalene's painting. Das wissen wir schon. Irene's Cashbook. Irene copying Percy Blackford's work. Kennen wir auch schon. Inspect Horace Church. Na dann. So, es geht mal wieder los. Bishop Mountjoy's Church. Hoffentlich ist es offen. Ach, wir dürfen uns alleine hier umsehen.
Oh.
Curious sketches on the back pages of the bishop's own Bible. Hat in der Bibel rumgeschmiert. Die Katze ist rot. Die anderen sind weiß. The Eighth Station of the Cross. Ah, müssen wir die alle anschauen jetzt.
Aha.
The savior of mankind, being treated every which way. The savior of mankind, being treated every which way, except for how he should.
Oh.
They all came to see the last stages of Jesus' mortal life. Women.
Oh.
Da ist der Chuck. Und hier ist auch ein Kreis drumherum.
Huh.
The geometric decoration on this clay pot has an indentation in it. Confessional. Das haben wir ja schon mal gesehen. Das ist Loch. The hole in the panel where Bartholomew hit previously, oder wie hat er sich ausgesprochen? With some effort I could reach in. Item edit. What's this? An hexagonal metal tube. I shall hold on to this until I can make sense of its purpose. Schauen wir noch unter das Kissen.
Aha.
My opinion has not changed. It looks a most uncomfortable seat. Ja, die anderen sind noch schrecklicher, die haben noch nicht mal ein Kissen. Also, 9. Station. Station of the Cross painting. Nothing particularly noticeable stands out to me. Also, wir brauchen dieses andere Gefäß.
Aha. Huh. Oh. Oh. Oh.
Veronica wipes Jesus' face.
Ah.
The headdress is such a vibrant color of yellow. So. Signed, Percy Blackford. If this were an original painting from the era of Percy Blackford, the bright yellow of the headdress would have dulled considerably. Ah, that's eine Fälschung. I suspect this painting to be a forgery of the original. Fehlt uns jetzt nicht noch ein zweites Gefäß bei so einem Bild? The tube fits in the indentation. It appears I can use this tool to rotate part of the painting. I won't tamper with it until I have an idea of what I plan to achieve.
Oh.
Schräg. Naja, ist immer schräg, ne? Unterliegend. Aber das sieht ein bisschen anders aus hier. Haben wir die zweite gar nicht gefunden? Forgery, signed Percy Blackford. Das passt zu Irene.
Another success. I never doubted myself.
At Bishop Mountjoy's request, she made copies of the Stations of the Cross paintings. Irene, das haben wir hier, forged Station of the Cross paintings. Aber das passt doch jetzt hier eigentlich zu dem Horace, oder?
Magnifique.
Why would he request copies of paintings his church already has hanging on its wall? Haben wir den? Naja, dann vielleicht zu dem hier, hm?
Come now.
Nein.
Think on what...
Den haben wir. Aber Black Market passt jetzt nicht. Wo könnte das dazugehören? Den Black Market finde ich nicht gut.
Logical thinking shall always prevail.
Aber Poirot schon. Tja. Bishop Mountjoy is replacing original artworks from the church with Mademoiselle Courtsmy's forgeries. And then selling the originals. Ah. Okay.
It appears that the good bishop has been replacing the church's original artworks with fakes painted by Mademoiselle Courtsmy.
Ja, aber vielleicht ist einfach das Klima in der Kirche hier nicht so gut und die Bilder gehen langsam kaputt und deswegen hat er die anderen lieber gut aufbewahrt in irgendeinem Keller oder irgendeinem Archiv und hat jetzt hier einfach die Kopien aufgehängt. Macht man doch gerne mal.
He commissioned her to make these forgeries so that no one would notice when the originals disappeared.
Disappearing where, though? You don't think he's selling them, do you?
Why else? Mademoiselle Babagnin appears to have been right about the bishop's connection to the black market. Now, Hastings, we must ask ourselves, where might Bishop Mountjoy be hiding the original paintings from the church before he sells them on?
Im Keller. So. Vielleicht hier, er leiht. Oh, nee. Gefällt mir nicht. Was war das? Kommt mir arg klein vor. Aber das ist jetzt das Einzige, was mir irgendwie als Versteck gefallen würde. Bookmarked finde ich nicht gut. Cat frightened. Passt nicht. Footprints. Mit dem Glas haben wir, glaube ich, schon einen Versuch, ne?
We must gain access to the space behind the confessional.
So, können wir jetzt das Ding nehmen? Take a closer look. Sieben? Nothing happened, hä? Mist. Und nu? Ist jetzt kaputt?
Aha.
Schauen wir hier nochmal.
Ha.
Also zuerst 7. Ich weiß nicht, ist es dann der 6er? Oder ein 5er? Ah, also wir sollen uns weiter umsehen. Ja, ich kann aber das Bild nicht mehr benutzen. Haha. Und nu? Also hier ist nichts mehr. Vielleicht müssen wir zu einem anderen Bild.
Ah.
Wir brauchen ja noch mal so einen Topf.
Mhm. Aha.
Wir fangen vielleicht noch mal links an. Die haben ja auch unterschiedlich ausgesehen, diese Krüge. Topf, sage ich schon. Also, schauen wir mal. Kann man hier irgendwas erkennen? Ah, so schon mal nicht. Ist das was? Rechts hier? Nee, das sind Leute. Ein Krug. 2.
Oh.
Ein Krug. Die hat er alle gesagt, da gibt's nichts. 3, 4, 5. Aber vielleicht ein Bild vergessen. Die 7.
Oh.
The seventh station of the cross painting was most definitely here earlier. Where could it have gone? So, wir wollten noch mal hier um die Ecke schauen.
Ah.
Naja, hier ist aber auch kein Krug. Ist da vielleicht auf der Gegenseite hier nochmal ein Bild? Und da ist auch der Krug. Eieieiei. Das passt natürlich auch, dass der Schalter hier in der Nähe sein muss.
Huh.
His final stumble before reaching Calvary. Das ist der Top.
Oh.
The Cross.
Oh.
The geometric decoration on this clay pot has an indentation in it. Ja, wir haben das Bild nicht gefunden, weil es hier um die Ecke war. So. Nothing happened. Ist auch kein Wunder. Ne? Voila.
Why don't you have a look first?
Oh.
Do not tell me you are afraid of the dark.
Not the dark, just pitch black, eerie passages in old churches. Poirot, where are we?
If I am not mistaken, this is part of the secret tunnels that were built hundreds of years ago to sneak those that did not agree with the powers of the country out.
And why exactly are we in here?
The why must never be obvious. That is the whole point.
Right.
Ja, Kerzen ist schon mal gefährlich in so einem Raum. Das macht die ganzen Bilder kaputt, die alten. Da vom Ruß. Ah. Ah. Similar painting of the penitent Magdalene. Aber mit Loch drin. Ah, da ist das andere Bild. Kann er sich das vielleicht mal von vorne anschauen? Nee, er will es irgendwie von hinten angucken. Das macht doch gar keinen Sinn. Er kommt nicht zum Bild. Was ist denn jetzt los? Muss ich das irgendwie drehen, damit es was wird? Das ist alles nichts. Na super, er ist jetzt nach hinten gelaufen und schaut sich es jetzt von hinten an und jetzt sind wir wieder vorn. Also, was fällt einem hier auf?
Oh.
Someone has quite ruthlessly taken instrument across the painting. The back of the canvas is visible here. It looks like it was previously used to paint something that looks suspiciously like a Monet. Übermalt. Ah, das sieht ein bisschen aus, als wäre was. Nö.
Aha.
In every way, this looks like it could be the original. Ja, das wäre ja natürlich die super Aktion gewesen, das kaputt zu machen.
We have our third forgery. There is evidence of a much more modern painting on the back of the canvas.
Thank goodness. Don't know how I would explain finding the original in such a state.
Bishop Mountjoy must have discovered the painting that he received from Mademoiselle Courtsmythe was one of her forgeries.
Hat er denn gedacht, er kriegt das Original?
And lashed out. Now it makes sense. He's been using this room to store his own private art collection. I can picture him sitting here smug as anything, surrounded by stolen paintings.
What I find most unfortunate
Is that not only does he deprive the world of beauty and joy from seeing these works, but he also keeps them in such dark and dank conditions, the old fool. He's even having to light his candle clock to keep from drifting off down here. Such a waste, don't you think, Poirot?
One's opinions are now worth listening to.
I was only voicing my thoughts.
You have thoughts beside those of Mademoiselle Farquhar?
Really, Poirot? You still think so little of me?
When one exclaims such regard for a suspect in a murder investigation, it is hard not to think any other way and comment so.
Er hat doch jetzt gar nichts gesagt. Also Poirot ist schon ein bisschen hier, ne?
You may not be so accustomed to the idea of showing, or at least having, some form of empathy for our fellow man.
Or women.
There is a difference between empathy and lust.
And there is a difference between commenting and being rude and obnoxious.
I was not expecting Monsieur Hastings to be so sensitive on the matter. Perhaps this conversation is best saved for when we are not trapped together.
What was that?
Jetzt sind wir vermutlich trapped, weil irgendeiner die Tür zugemacht hat, hm?
Oh, just the bishop's candle clock.
What?
I don't know about you, but I've had enough of this place. Let's get out of here. What are you doing, Poirot?
S'il vous plaît, un moment.
The bishop's candle clock has forced me to question everything of the murder scene that I previously thought I knew.
We must return to Mademoiselle Courtsmythe's apartment.
Okay.
Perhaps that is a job best left for you, by yourself.
Ja, jetzt ein bisschen eingeschnappt, aber hat er auch recht. The bishop's candle and nail alarm clock has me reconsidering the evidence at the fireplace. I must re-examine it. Ging der Brand in die andere Richtung? The necklace with the pin through it. I'll take it. Perhaps I can conduct a little experiment and recreate what really happened here. War das eine Art Timer? Something about the candles melting now feels odd to me. Die dann runtergefallen hat, es ausgelöst. Vor allem das Bild ist völlig unbeschädigt, da waren die Flammen direkt dran. Vorher hat er, glaube ich, noch was bei den Blumen gesagt, aber jetzt ist ihm das egal. Ah ne, hier war dieses Snuff-Ding. Brauchen wir nicht mehr. The sibling of the missing candle. I believe it to have survived due to its distance from the scorch marks. But now, I'm not so sure. With Bishop Mountjoy's candle alarm clock in mind, I must conduct a small experiment. Haben wir denn andere Kerzen jetzt dabei? Ich glaube nicht. Ja? Ach, da unten sind Kerzen.
Aha.
Survivors of the fire. Some brand new candles remain intact. Haben wir mitgenommen. The bottle is empty but smells strongly of turpentine. Only half a crate remains. Irene must be a great fan. Ah, diese schreckliche Uhr. Bottle of Champagne, empty, crate. Ah, das war der Text für die Crate, war auch bei der Bottle. Halt.
Aha.
Habe ich mir angesehen. Also hier die Kerze.
Oh.
There would have been a candle before the heat of the fire melted it. Just like the nail in the bishop's candle alarm clock, this pin could have been pushed into the candle, like so. The necklace would have been wrapped around the candle, something like this. As the wax melted and the pin fell, the necklace could have poured over the side and the weight eventually toppling the candle. Time to put the theory to the test. Ja, haben wir dann irgendwas zum Anzünden? Matches.
Et maintenant?
Oh.
I believe myself to be the greatest detective in the most prestigious police force in the world. But I have been duped and swindled, falling directly into the trap laid by the killer. And now I stand here alone, contemplating what is to come next. Monsieur Hastings was quick to make his excuses to retire to his abode and not return to the scene of the crime by my side. I hope there is not something further that troubles him. One does not need added strains at a time when steps must be retraced and a new timeline considered. Sacré. I have spent my time staring into the sun when deceit and deception has taken place in the shadows. A murderer remains free, but the truth of the fire eludes Detective Hercule Poirot no more, and soon neither will their identity.
Chapter 8. The investigation starts anew.
I cannot believe I allowed myself to fall for such a deceptive move. The killer knew I would ask for an alibi, and they knew how to cover their tracks perfectly. Now, though, I have the upper hand. The killer believes that I have extinguished all avenues of my questioning, unaware I know the truth of the fire. I wish Monsieur Hastings were here. I was perhaps too harsh with him. I know of his want for the same as I, the truth. But now I fear that I have lost him to my own tenacious demeanor. Now more than ever do I need my little grey cells working at full capacity. Monsieur Demire and Mademoiselle Babagna. I am glad to say that they both still have alibis, as the show had just reached its second act. I can be sure that neither was involved.
Ah, wirklich?
Mademoiselle Farquhar. She claims that she was in the dark room developing pictures. And even with this new discovery, her alibi stands. Monsieur Dryden can confirm. Monsieur Christiansen, one of my key suspects, drinking alone except for a brief encounter with Monsieur Demire. But Madame Allen can substantiate his trip to see her at the theater to apologize during the intermission. Which leads us to the good Madame Allen. On stage performing. Innocent.
Ah, wirklich? Oder war sie die ganze Zeit zu sehen?
A side note. I must make an effort to see her production. From what I have heard, she sounds quite captivating. The Honorable Bishop Mountjoy. His Compline prayers had not yet begun, but Mademoiselle Warbeck and he were together in what I can only imagine to be an uncomfortable meeting for them both. Her innocence has already been confirmed, although upon learning of how she has been treated, I would not have been surprised. Last but certainly not least, Monsieur Aylesworth, and the article in the newspaper documenting his, as some see, heroic speech amongst the House of Commons is alibi enough for the murder. And where are we left now? Every suspect seemingly as innocent as they were yesterday. But when one looks most innocent, that is when Detective Poirot is most suspicious.
Tja, da müssen wir also mehr rausfinden. Vermutlich geht es auch damit weiter, sich das Stück mal anzuschauen, ob es da zwischendrin eine Zeit gibt, in der die nicht da ist und dann Zeit hätte, rauszuschleichen und die andere umzubringen. Aber ich würde sagen, das finden wir nicht mehr heute raus. Machen wir an dieser Stelle lieber erstmal ein kleines Päuschen. Und ich hoffe, es hat euch gefallen und wir sehen uns das nächste Mal.